7 celebrities who found God and transformed their lives forever. You have all the money, fame, and recognition in the world, but you still feel empty. As a matter of fact, this was the situation for several famous people who had achieved success but found that they were lacking something. Following their discovery of God, their lives underwent irreversible transformation. We are going to take a look at 7 inspiring accounts of celebrities who have seen a shift in their lives as a result of their conversion to religion. Whether they are world champions or music icons, their travels demonstrate that no matter how far you soar, this is the only place where you may find genuine serenity. 1. Kirk Cameron. As a result of his role as a young idol on the popular comedy Growing Pains, Kirk Cameron became famous. At the pinnacle of his career, he had financial success, celebrity, and popularity, all of which are things that a young star could only dream of having. However, he was feeling dissatisfied on the inside. Kirk experienced a profound spiritual revelation during the later part of his teenage years. His conversion to Christianity brought about a dramatic change in both his professional and personal aspirations. He chose to devote his time and energy to the production of films and projects that convey messages based on his religious beliefs rather than pursuing positions in Hollywood. Cameron maintained his convictions, although his decisions were condemned by others. His metamorphosis demonstrated to the world that prominence might wane with time, but a life lived in accordance with one's religion leaves an indelible mark. 2. Tyson Fury. The astonishing metamorphosis of Tyson Fury, the heavyweight boxing champion, is just another example of transformative power. With his extraordinary boxing abilities, Fury, often known as the Gypsy King, stunned the whole world. But alongside his achievements, he also battled with terrible despair, drug abuse, and even suicidal thoughts. When Fury reached his lowest point, he prayed to God for help. He is quite upfront about the fact that he attributes his life to his religion, stating that prayer and spiritual discipline assisted him in recovering from addiction and finding his purpose in life. Not only is Tyson Fury recognized for being a boxing champion, but he is also known for being a man of faith who celebrates his victories by publicly praising God after each of his bouts. His recovery story is real evidence that when faith is your power, there is no struggle that is too large for you to fight. 3. Demi Lovato. Although Demi Lovato has had a lot of success in her acting and singing careers, she has also had a lot of personal problems during her career. She struggled with being addicted to substances, having problems with her mental health, and having near-fatal overdoses that took her life. During her path to recovery, Demi discovered that reconnecting with God was a source of strength. In her words, she has said that prayer and religion played a significant role in her recovery journey. It is also possible for Lovato to infuse spiritual elements into her songs, sharing her narrative of survival with people all across the globe. The change that Demi experienced did not come about as a result of fame or acclaim. Rather, it was the result of her submitting to God and discovering a greater purpose beyond the stage. 4. Chance the Rapper. It is not just his music that has garnered a lot of admiration, but also the fact that he is so open about his religious beliefs. Chance defiantly embraces Christianity, although the hip-hop business, which often steers clear of religious topics, is part of the genre. He has said many times that his daughter's birth strengthened his faith. It compelled him to live his life with a higher sense of responsibility and to depend on God for direction. Through his songs, Chance expresses gratitude to God on a regular basis, utilizing his platform to preach optimism and hope. In spite of working in fields that are rife with diversions, his narrative demonstrates that being faithful to one's beliefs may bring about significance and direction. 5. Chris Tucker. Despite the fact that his parts in Rush Hour and Friday made people all over the globe laugh, Chris Tucker decided to leave Hollywood when he was considered to be at the pinnacle of his comedic career. Many people were curious as to why. What is the reason he had faith? After becoming a devout Christian, Tucker made the conscious decision to steer clear of jobs that were incompatible with his views. Although he lost out on job prospects and millions of dollars as a result of this choice, he said that it was of far more significance to live a life that was in accordance with his religion. Tucker still performs on occasion, although these days he is more focused on stand-up comedy and on personal projects that are reflective of his beliefs. In his life, he demonstrated that genuine success is not defined by riches, but rather by living in accordance with the counsel that God provides. 6. Mel Gibson. It is safe to say that Mel Gibson has had one of the most contentious careers in Hollywood. The general public once subjected him to criticism due to his personal conduct and controversies. On the other hand, Gibson became closer to God and found his faith when he was at his lowest point. The Passion of the Christ, which is widely considered one of the most influential faith-based films in the history of cinema, was conceived as a result of his newfound dedication to Christianity. Not only did the film bring his career back to life, but it also made an indelible impression on millions of people all across the nation. Faith is often cited as the factor that assisted Gibson in overcoming challenges and refocusing his life. The circumstances of his life demonstrate that it is always possible to be redeemed if one returns to God. 7. Alice Cooper. Once upon a time, the great rock singer Alice Cooper was well known for his wild lifestyle, which was characterized by alcohol use, disorder, and controversy. At the peak of his fame, he nearly succumbed to his addictions. However, Alice Cooper's decision to become a Christian caused a stir throughout the globe. He has stopped engaging in unacceptable behaviors and is now publicly discussing how Christianity was the savior of his life. Although he continues to play music, his life is now focused on God, his family, and helping other people. When asked about what constitutes true rebellion in today's environment, Cooper often asserts that it is not drugs or anarchy, but rather living a life that is led by faith. Conclusion. From Kirk Cameron's courageous departure from the Hollywood industry to Tyson Fury's recovery via faith, these 7 celebrities demonstrate that no one is immune to the power of change for themselves. Fame, wealth, and power can't fill the void. Only faith in God can. Their tales serve as a reminder to us that genuine success is not related to the number of admirers you have, but rather to the way you live your life with a sense of purpose and tranquility. Regardless of your identity, you can always discover God and bring about a lasting transformation in your life. Don't forget to hit like, share, and subscribe for more.